Why do many people still act like children in their 40s, 50s, and 60s? They cannot be the family's stabilizing force, and they are the biggest source of uncertainty for the family. Once an argument breaks out in the family, it's not because the child did something wrong, but because the adults are suddenly unhappy. You don't know what you did upset your parents, and the family's suddenly in chaos. The reason is that they constantly need others to comfort them. They have not learned to regulate their emotions in the process of growing up. Normal people, the older you are, the more mature you are, the less you need comfort from others, and you just need some normal emotional connections. But children who have not grown up will always be desperate for this thing. If we are adults who are really mature inside, we will not suffer so many emotional injuries. What does it mean? In the relationship between adults, emotion is a gift, right? So if you get it, you are happy. If you don't, you are thankful. This is the state that adults should be in. But we are very entangled and very painful in the relationship. We regard all of this as a punishment for loss and betrayal. Why? Because you are constantly repeating the interaction between you and your parents when you were a child. When you were a child, your parents used emotions as a tool to control you, so your emotional reactions are much more intense than others. This is what we call the harm caused by immature parents. So what is the reason? That is why many parents live to their 40s or 50s who are still emotionally immature. The reason is that for normal children, as they grow up, their need for constant attention and comfort will decrease accordingly. But for immature parents, their self-regulation ability has not been fully developed as they grow older, because they cannot regulate their own emotions and have difficulty dealing with feelings of disappointment. So they still want others to know how they want to be treated and make them feel better immediately. If others don't put them first, they will emotional breakdown. They are like children. They need a lot of attention, obedience, and positive feedback. Only in this way can their emotions remain stable. But unlike children, they are not able to grow from attention. The trauma and emotional deprivation they experienced in their early childhood have strengthened their psychological defenses. No matter how much they get, they will not be able to escape from the old defense mode. This paragraph is a very profound analysis of why many people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s still live like a child. So what is our solution to avoid getting hurt? You have to believe in the importance of inner experience. Why do we say that imagination is effective? It is because a person's inner experience is very important. If you haven't seen the movie Amelie yet, it's a great way to explore the beauty of inner experience. The film features a young woman with an incredibly rich inner world, which makes her life so intriguing to watch. The truth is, each and every one of us has a wealth of inner experiences waiting to be discovered. However, it's important to note that the author of this statement also mentions something very insightful. Immature individuals tend to shy away from other people's inner experiences out of fear or insecurity. It's essential to embrace our own inner world and also be open to exploring the inner experiences of others, as it can lead to greater compassion and understanding. That is, when you are in front of an immature person, he hopes that you are as transparent as possible, and your emotions should be written on your face, right? Then it is best if you don't have any thoughts. Study for the exam according to my ideas, don't play games, and pass the college entrance examination. As for whether you will be happy in the future, he doesn't think so much. He just hopes that you can get into college. This is the expectation of an immature person. Well, I was approached by someone who wanted advice on improving their child's obedience. They specifically asked if Teacher Fan had any methods to make their child more obedient. It was clear that the person was seeking a way to ensure their child was completely obedient, as they believed their current level of obedience was insufficient. I just want my children to be simple, and I just want them not to have any inner thoughts, right? But in fact, a person's true maturity is inner maturity, not outer maturity. Growing up, growing a beard, having a job, having children, and owning a car are not called maturity. It is when he has rich experiences on the inside. He has his own ideas. He has experienced all the pain that people have experienced in human history, and he has learned how to face the pain of life, such as separation, birth, aging, sickness, and death. This is the sign of a person's maturity, so you have to believe in the importance of inner experience. It's what Oscar Wilde said, we all live in the gutter, but some people still look up at the stars. Right? I can't solve the environment I live in. I may live in a gutter or in a very bad environment, but I have the ability to look up at the stars. This is the importance of inner experience. So why do people read those great literary works, right? You read The Count of Monte Cristo, or you read John Christopher, you read Notre Dame de Paris, and read Les Miserables. The reason why the characters in those works are great is that they have the ability to look up at the stars. They have rich inner experiences. This is the most essential thing to fight against immature parents. You have to pay attention to this thing. Okay, how do you find your inner experience? Next, we will talk about how to awaken your inner self. The inner self is your inner witness. What is an inner witness? We have talked about what I am in psychology. I am my observer. You keep talking about me all day long. What is me? I am my observer. You need someone who can jump out and observe yourself. This person is me. So this person is your inner witness. What are the benefits of having this inner witness? Its function includes that it can help you discover emotions that make you alert. For example, if you feel a little unhappy today, if you are a numb person and just let it go, you will not reflect on why you are unhappy. But if you are a person who is introspective like Wang Yangming, who can see into your inner conscience, you will take that thought out and ask yourself, why do I have such a thought today? Right? When you can observe the thoughts in your heart, your inner self can become better and better, right? So this is called an emotion that makes you alert. Then you have to have intuition. Sometimes many of people's judgments are based on intuition. There are many psychology books that can help us prove the existence of intuition. But don't exaggerate it into magical powers, right? At the level of supernatural powers, it may be over-exaggeration. But if a person does something for a long time, he will develop intuition. I have personally seen police officers being able to spot a thief in a group of people at a glance. This is the intuitive ability that comes from working in a job for a long time, and then you have an epiphany. Just like after Newton was hit on the head by an apple, he will suddenly be inspired to ask, hey, is there gravity, and is there even a possibility of our survival? Guidance. I once interviewed an explorer who had done expeditions in Antarctica, the Arctic, the Himalayas, and the Himalayas. I asked him what was the most dangerous thing he had ever encountered. He said that he was walking in Antarctica when the ice surface began to crack, and a big ditch appeared. If you fall into that ditch, you are doomed because there is no rope long enough to pull you out. I asked him what to do, and he said what to do. He said, run by instinct. He told me that when a person is in that environment, he is not much different from an animal. Sometimes, when facing danger, relying on your instincts and running in one direction might be the most effective way to survive. Like the story of the explorer, he trusted his gut feeling and guided his team out of danger. Therefore, being in touch with your inner feelings is crucial in protecting yourself in this world. By being sensitive and aware of your surroundings, you can respond to potential threats before they harm you. As members of the SUV Riber community, we share a common value of family. To awaken our inner selves, we should pay close attention to the sensations and signals of our bodies. Through self-awareness and intuition, we can navigate through life with confidence and resilience. Many of us are becoming more and more numb in real life. We have ignored and lost our sense of our body. This kind of feeling is very dangerous. It will put your body under long-term stress without you feeling it. When you have long-term back pain, long-term headaches, long-term spinal curvature, etc., it means you are under great stress. So you should learn to pay attention to your inner body feelings and then figure out the meaning of these feelings. What does this feeling remind you of? Our bodies don't just have feelings for no reason. They will definitely remind you of something, right? Then don't judge or criticize yourself. We often encounter questions from people, such as, Teacher Fan, why hasn't my life changed after I finished reading? Teacher Fan, why can't I remember what I read? Why am I still so harsh on my children after I finished reading? Right? You see, these questions are actually strict criticisms of yourself. What is the reason for your harsh criticism of yourself? It comes from the fact that you were always criticized by others when you were a child, so you developed such a habit. And the result of this habit is that your study will become more difficult. If you can be a little bit better to yourself, a little bit more relaxed with yourself, and don't keep looking at the parts of yourself that you don't remember. Hey, today I used a trick. Hey, oh, I learned something today. I remembered it. Only then will your progress become faster and faster, which is the advantage of being an optimist. So pessimists are always right, and optimists are always making progress. This is the difference, right? Then clarify your own needs. Visualize your life purpose and sense of belonging. You have nothing to do. Think about what you want your life to be like. What kind of life do you want to live, right? Take this out and share it with the people around you. Effective ways to cultivate include mindfulness meditation and diary writing. The habit of writing a diary is a good way to record your feelings of the day, right? Then meditate and stay mindful. Think about it. We have a lot of worries. What if that happens? What if the child doesn't go to a good middle school? What if I can't pay back the loan? At this moment, when you are touching this table, have these things happened? Right? Nothing has happened. You are just here touching this table and saying these words. This is called mindfulness. Those troubles have not happened yet. Wait until they happen, right? Just deal with them slowly. So if you can really maintain mindfulness, there will be no particularly difficult things in life, no obstacles that cannot be overcome. Because all obstacles are overcome one by one, right? This is what we call awakening your inner self.